Trove is an MMO originally released in 2015 for PC, only later being ported to console. As you can see, it's heavily inspired by Minecraft, featuring a block-based system, but with RPG elements like dungeons and classes. And, well, the reason I decided to get the Platinum Trophy for this game is kind of funny. I had never even seen it before until my brother-in-law, while playing on my PS5 at my house, decided to install this and earned 3 trophies. With all my completionist instincts, I felt obligated to platinum it to keep my ID completion rate close to 100%. It's still far from 100%, but hey, we'll get there one day. That said, let's talk about the Trove Platinum journey.
Let's go!
The problem with this platinum isn't its difficulty, which is only a 4 out of 10, but the time it takes to finish, a whopping 400 hours, at least according to the guide. The reason for this comes down to 2 specific trophies, one for destroying 1 million blocks, yes, you heard that right, and another for reaching level 50 in PvP or getting 500 kills in Bomber Royale mode. This might not sound too difficult, but believe me, it's a long journey. First off, the game isn't as active as it used to be, making it very hard to find matches in PvP mode. Even if you find enough people for a boost, in a perfect scenario, where you win every match, play on a Saturday for the XP bonus, and have the game's VIP status for even more bonuses, it would take around 34 hours of gameplay. But since nothing is perfect, I'd estimate it's closer to 100 hours. And even if you decide to go for the 500 kills, it's still very time consuming because matches take about 10 minutes to start, and most of the time you don't kill anyone because either everyone else kills each other, or you end up dying. At least, that's what happened to me. But let's take it slow. There's a lot to do before that trophy. As I mentioned, my brother-in-law started this game on my account, so I already had 3 trophies. One for finishing the tutorial, one for reaching 100 power rank, and another for collecting a store coin that you can use to unlock any class. And from there, my platinum journey began. My main goal was to reach 10,000 power rank and get to level 30. Power rank is basically a status of how strong you are. All your equipment contributes a bit to your PR. To make my journey easier, I did some things, immensely reducing the hours needed to progress. But to do that, I needed to reach at least mastery rank 20, which can be earned by doing basically anything in the game, because any type of player tray like using the marketplace is locked until you reach that rank. And to be honest, this was the most boring part of the game. I just did quests and grinded away. Upon reaching level 10, I unlocked the ability to select any other unlocked class and use it as a subclass, which unlocked the Stay Subclassy trophy. I then spent a whole day farming very inefficiently. After all, I was completely lost in the game until I finally reached mastery rank 20, picking up a trophy along the way. With all that grinding, I ended up getting some items, including a few gems, which would become the main way to increase my power. Just to give you an idea, at least 50% of your power rank usually comes from gems. With this, I earned a trophy for reaching 550 power rank, and another for equipping a gem. With the marketplace finally unlocked, I could speed things up. I bought 40 million flux, the in-game currency. It might sound like a lot, but it isn't, due to the market being highly inflated by cheaters who were duplicating items a while back. Still, it was enough to buy a lot of things. My focus was on buying as many mounts and skins as possible to increase my mastery rank, because one of the most annoying trophies requires reaching mastery rank 300. I don't even want to imagine how many hours that would have taken if I hadn't bought so much flux. In the process, since I had to list an item on the marketplace to get the flux, I also got the Peddling for Profit trophy. I also joined a club that provides benefits like XP bonuses and other perks, and with that, another trophy. At that point, I was trying everything to raise my mastery rank, and one of the things you can do is work on professions, which exist in practically every MMO. I started with ring crafting. Since I had a lot of flux to buy materials, it was pretty easy to max it out and get a trophy. I also took advantage of the flux to upgrade my equipment. Then, I spent about 2 hours farming dungeons and leveling up. As I said, gems are the main source of power, and with each level I gained, I unlocked new gem slots. So, I equipped more gems and upgraded them until I reached 2,500 power rank, along with a trophy for hitting that milestone. After that, I decided to try the Shadow Tower, which is a different type of dungeon with a boss on each floor. The first boss was very easy, and I killed it in just a few hits. And here, something interesting happened. Honestly, I don't know exactly why, but upon killing the boss, I got a trophy for dropping 5,000 bombs in Bomber Royale mode. The thing is, the dungeon I was in has absolutely nothing to do with that mode, so it makes no sense. But I'm grateful because, you know, it would have been a tedious grind to go after that trophy, so this saved us some good hours. Along with that one, I also got another trophy for completing my first 3-star dungeon. After that, I continued killing the next bosses in the tower, and everything was going smoothly until I reached this big guy. Man, what a tank. It was probably because my damage was still very low, so it took a while to kill him. The good thing is there was a trophy for killing him, although it was from a DLC and didn't count towards the platinum. I tried to kill the next boss, but it was impossible. I was too weak and needed to level up more to face him. So I decided to explore the worlds of the Geode DLC, which has a few trophies I ended up getting. Things work a bit differently here. There are 3 caves you can enter to farm ores and crystals. For this, you need some equipment, like this gas module. Since there were a lot of quests here, I took the opportunity to do them to level up and try to reach level 20. The quests were very simple, things like helping these little creatures, gathering some ores, and so on. I completed them until I got to the quest to upgrade the gas module, which has a trophy attached to it. I was getting really close to the trophy for reaching level 20, just a little bit more to go. So I farmed some dungeons until I leveled up and unlocked the trophy. And, well, after doing some research about the game online, I discovered that the class I was playing was one of the worst for farming and damage, and it would be very inefficient to continue with it until the platinum. So I decided to switch and level up the Shadowhunter class. I would have to level it up from level 1 all over again, but since I had already unlocked the areas that give more XP, it was quite easy and fast. And during this process, something happened that probably saved me at least 100 hours. The hardest trophy in the game is the one for reaching level 50 in PvP or getting 500 kills in Bomber Royale, which would take a very long time. A few days earlier, I was browse Reddit and saw a guy who said he got this trophy in a very random way. He had contacted the game's support about a bug he was having, and when they accessed his account to solve the problem, the trophy unlocked. Yeah, it doesn't make much sense, but the same thing happened to me. I contacted support, and a few days later, while I was leveling up the Shadowhunter class, I got kicked from the game with a notice that the support team had entered my account to resolve the bug I reported, which, by the way, was a problem I wasn't even having. Right after they checked my account and left, the trophy unlocked when I logged back in. Seriously, the relief I felt in that moment was immense. You have no idea. I had resisted getting the platinum for this game for so long just because of this trophy. After that, I finally saw that the platinum was within my reach. But hold on, there's still a lot of tedious grinding to do in the game, the main one being destroying 1 million blocks. While I was doing quests and leveling up, I took the opportunity to destroy some blocks with my dragon, which is the only type of mount that can destroy blocks. With that, I got a trophy for destroying 5,000 blocks. Yeah, still a long way from 1 million. After reaching level 20 with this new class, I was much stronger, with almost 6,000 power rank. So I decided to go back to the Shadow Tower and kill the rest of the bosses. By killing this creature, I got the last trophy from that DLC. And man, I found it kinda lame that the final boss of the area has no trophy at all. I don't understand the criteria they used, and this boss is pretty awesome, by the way. Now, for the next trophy, I needed to equip an aura on a piece of gear, but the problem was that you could only do that with higher rarity armor. Since I didn't have any, I had to do some farming. Luckily, I found some guys clearing several 5-star dungeons, so I just followed them until I got a piece of gear with crystal rarity. With that, I was able to equip an aura on it. As you can see, this aura creates a sort of glow around my head. You'll see, when I'm at max level, my character will be full of these cool glows. Anyway, the mission now was simple. Farm until my fingers fell off, because we needed to reach 10,000 power rank. And those last few levels were not easy to gain. It took many hours of farming dungeons. When I reached level 24, I was able to level up and equip more gems, unlocking the trophy for reaching 10,000 power rank. And speaking of gems, for the next trophy, I needed to equip a specific class gem. There are several ways to get one, but the easiest is by reaching level 25, which gives you a class gem key. With it, I went to this dungeon that's kind of like an arena, and I had to pass an invasion test, which is to survive for 1 minute and kill 3 golems. As you can see, it's not easy, and I died on the first attempt. But since I'm a beast, I succeeded. Using the key, we opened this chest and got a class gem. Equipping it unlocked the Polished to Perfection trophy. Another trophy that I should have gotten earlier but hadn't yet was for completing 10 world challenges, which are random challenges that appear every 20 minutes. The last one I did was to defeat this boss. Since there were a bunch of people killing it, it was pretty easy, and I unlocked the trophy. And now, the next step was to reach level 30. The most efficient XP farm of all would be the ships, which are literally giant ships with tons of monsters inside. The XP here is simply absurd. The reason I hadn't done them yet was that I didn't meet the minimum requirements to enter one. Actually, I'm still too weak to fight in one, but since the people here are really cool, they always let a bunch of people enter and just stand in the middle, gaining XP. It's literally an AFK XP farm. It was just a matter of minutes until I reached level 30 and got the trophy. To take advantage of the moment, since I was already farming XP, I started leveling up all the other classes in the game. For every level you gain on a class, you get 15 mastery points, and you need 100 points for each rank. I was still at rank 133, so it was going to be a long journey to rank 300. After leveling up several classes, I looked for effective ways to raise my mastery rank. I even did some Geode quests, but realized it would take too long to level up that mastery. So I thought about it and said, you know what, I'm just going to spend some money and save myself time in this game. After all, time is money. So I spent about $100 just getting flux in the game.
Shut up and take my money!
With all that flux, I got a ton of mounts from the store, because each mount gives at least 50 mastery points, with dragons giving the most, 250 points each, which is at least 2 ranks. So I blew all my flux crafting some dragons and other mounts. When I was around rank 296, since my flux had run out, I finished leveling up the rest of my classes and finally got the trophy for reaching mastery rank 300. And now, the last trophies for the Platinum were related to placing and destroying blocks, with the most difficult being the one for destroying 1 million blocks. Initially, I thought I would have to destroy everything with the dragon, but that would have taken an eternity because the dragon breaks about 50 blocks at a time. So, I did some research and saw that there's this giant bomb that can destroy at least 400 blocks at a time, which makes the grind much faster. I used all the flux I had to buy the materials and craft over 1,000 of these bombs. I then spent a few hours throwing bombs and breaking blocks until my bombs ran out. I still had about 400,000 blocks left to destroy, so I had to spend more money and buy more flux to craft more bombs. In the meantime, I also took the opportunity to get the trophies for placing 1,000 and 5,000 blocks. That was pretty easy. It probably took an hour at most. Then finally, I made more bombs and grinded for a while until I finally destroyed 1 million blocks and got the last trophy along with the Platinum. After that, I still got the 3 trophies from the Gardening DLC. They were pretty easy. I just had to water and harvest plants. One of the trophies required watering 1,000 plants, so to make it easier, I made several floors just with crops and watered everything until the trophy unlocked. I still had one last trophy left from the Geode DLC, which was to get 100 Geode Mastery. It might sound easier than getting the 300 normal mastery, but it's actually much harder. The reason is that for this one, I would practically have to complete the entire DLC, and there's no way to buy the stuff with flux. That's why I ended up not getting this trophy, but I plan to get it in the future because I really enjoyed the game. In the end, it took me about 50 hours to get the Platinum in Trove, which was much faster than the 400 hours in the guide. But the reason for that was that I spent over $100 to speed up the process. If not for that, it would have taken much longer. And this is so far the rarest Platinum I have, with only 0.26% of players having earned it, according to the website PSN Profiles. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and don't worry, the Crash 4 video is almost finished too. I should post it in the next few days, so subscribe so you don't miss anything. Thanks, see ya, and until the next video.